for helping out today in the video department. Now, towards the end of April, there will be a planned week when we'll be gone because I'll be taking the family to Mexico.
Ooh. Who's the family?
Me. Just me and Alan.
It's me and Bill. We like to, what we refer to as a professional retreat once a year in the almost decade that Bill has been on the show. The second longest serving member of this show, by the way, is one William Scott Squire. That's right. And so as a little bit of a reward, take two. As a little bit of a reward, we have a bit of and really it's a reward for both of us. Yeah. I'm not going to try to say reward anymore. Hey, Michelle, hello.
Hi there. How are you today?
Oh, you know what? I'm. Every day is a new chance to do something great.
Well, that's fabulous. So I'm calling with regards to Deshaun Watson. You were just talking about him and possible punishments and things of that nature. 19 Action News did a report the other night where they went over an NFL flow chart regarding situations such as his. And they drew a parallel to Ben Roethlisberger when he got accused of similar things. And I guess Big Ben sat out 6 games while they did investigations. They said that the difference between the criminal aspect and the NFL aspect is the NFL aspect can hand down punishment at any time. And also, if Deshaun Watson pays any of those women anything, even $1,000, it's an admission of guilt on his part that he did something to those women.
Yeah, the bottom line is you're innocent until proven guilty. I mean, I know it makes people feel really, really gross, and it should. You know, Erin is a Steelers fan who listens to the show, and she said the real reason why Bill and all the Browns fans are upset is because Browns fans have been spending a decade calling Roethlisberger a rapist, and now they have a guy with a less than ideal past. So,
well, that's not the reason I'm upset. I mean, I'm aware of that position, but I'm actually upset about the sexual assaults. I don't care. Like, I didn't like what happened with Ben Roethlisberger.
Alleged sexual assaults.
I don't like the alleged sexual assaults in this situation, and I don't like the way that the Browns handled the situation, so I'm out on the Browns. That's where I'm at. I can't.
I don't know that I believe you. You're not going to watch a Browns game the whole season?
I can't. I'm telling you, I'm not.
What if this is the year they go to the Super Bowl? You're not going to watch the Super Bowl.
It's not that important to me.
Okay.
In this situation.
Let me ask you this question. How do you think Terry the goat will react to this news?
Oh, bad.
I mean, you know how goats are.
Goats are
big on consent.
Goats are famously agnostic on matters of professional sports and sexual assault allegations. But I take your point, Michelle. Thank you for the call.
I just can't do it.
Okay.
I don't blame anybody else. If they want to watch, go ahead. I can't do it.
I'm
not something I.
Well, if you do that,
can't do it.
If you do that, then you are a man of your word. Because I know a lot of these people that are like, screw the Browns. And, you know, they held up the sign on I-90 or I-71, whatever it was. These people are going to be going there. They may not buy a Deshaun Watson jersey.
I think a lot of the people who are putting signs on the overpass were not exactly diehard Browns fans to begin with. This has given them an in to make a statement on that, but it's not like these people are season ticket holders. Season ticket holders or people, there can be plenty of Browns fans at the game.
Yes, I know.
This is not going to change anything.
No, I'm not going to, the people are still going to show up. And again, if you want to show up, that's up to you. I'm just saying, personally, I can't do it anymore.
Now, here's my question. Mike Tomlin has said that he would jump at the chance to sign Baker Mayfield. Now, they have Mitch Trubisky of Mentor, Ohio, who played for my Chicago Bears, to very little effect. And then I think he had a cup of coffee in Buffalo. But he's, right now, the Steelers are putting their money on Mitch Trubisky. But Mike Tomlin said, we'd love to have Baker Mayfield as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Now, of course, former Brown Joe Hayden, they're not expecting that he'll return to the team. They got rid of, what's his name? Jojo Siwa. Juju Smith-Schuster. Right. And so the Steelers, after this whole mishigas with Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield, that Mike Tomlin is very excited to talk to Baker Mayfield. That could be just like, sticking it in and twisting it. Who knows?
Yeah, I feel like that's more what it is.
But he would have to be cut first, right?
Like he can get traded. Like they could trade for Baker Mayfield, but I don't think they're going to want to take that cap hit of $20 million that he's owed this season.
Right. And he would be a backup guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Baker would be a great backup guy.
Fantastic backup guy.
I mean, you could probably just put Baker out there and Mitch Trubisky out there and say, guess who it is?
Alan, while you were out, I was listening to old shows from last year. And tomorrow is now it will happen today, a new one. But tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of the Poundcake Sports Break.
Is it really?
Ironically, because I think we started it on Thursdays.
I think we started on Wednesday.
No,
I
it was
thought
Thursdays
Thursdays.
because then he switched his podcast
To Wednesdays.
to
and-
Wednesdays. Yeah.
And he said, ironically, one of the stories in his inaugural sports break was about Deshaun Watson. I don't know if that's ironic. It's coincidental.
Still.
God, I can't believe it's been a year. It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
It seems 5 times as long. I'm just kidding. No, you've come a long way in the sports break. It started out as something mildly amusing, and it has ended up as something occasionally mildly amusing. I mean, he's come a
I would say
long way.
Consistently mildly amusing.
Consistently. He gets some good burns in there.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Got some Mike Tyson today.
Oh, the ear edibles?
Gotta be, right?
Oh, no, it's not ear edibles. No.
Wasn't a
I
rhetorical
was like,
question.
did his mic stop working?
Yeah. Oh, no. If the Browns win the Super Bowl and Bill doesn't watch, will he still smoke crack like he said he would?
I am a man of my word, so I will, if the Browns win the Super Bowl, I will still smoke crack. But I will not watch the game. I'm just not going to support the Browns.
Wow.
I'm just done with it. I can't, because I can't stop thinking if that's my sister or one of my kids or someone I know and care about in that situation, and they're assaulted, and then everybody's just like, oh, they're just after money. Hate the thought of that.
But just like...
Hate the thought of it.
Fame and money and celebrity overpowers everything.
Listen,
I mean,
I'm not
Jerry
saying it
Sandusky.
doesn't.
For
I'm not
some
saying it doesn't.
people, it does.
But
I'm saying I don't have to support it,
No,
though.
I understand that, but
So I don't know what your point is by even bringing this part up.
But I'm saying there were people that were convicted of way worse, and the town still rioted. Like Jerry Sandusky, they were so mad. This guy was
That's a good point. Okay, I get
he
that.
was showering with the guys. He was in there putting his nose where it didn't belong, and these men, whatever, took to the streets. They were burning down houses and flipping cars because he was dismissed as a coach.
Because they have a.
So they looked at those guys as sacrificial lambs. Like, you should let him shower with you. You should let him touch your leg.
Well, it was all alleged.
It wasn't. He got 20 years.
No, I understand. But before that is when they were rioting. They weren't rioting after the guy was convicted.
Well, I wonder
They
after
were
he was
rioting when he got let go.
Did they have buyer's remorse after he got convicted? You're like, well, we shouldn't have burned down that house for a convicted, I guess, rapist, sex offender.
It's weird. That was at least 10 years ago, right? The Sandusky thing?
I was in
Yeah,
college
at
when that
least.
happened. Yep.
And I was talking to somebody who, I was mentioning my daughter had been accepted at Michigan State. She goes, oh, my son got in at Penn State. But she sounded weird about it. And I go, that's a great school. And she goes, yeah, because they still have that Sandusky stink on
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? 10 years later.
I think it just sucks. There's no other way to describe this situation. I mean, I wish they wouldn't have done it. I wish the Browns wouldn't have even. At the end of the day, it's a business. It's the same thing when people are like, how can comedy clubs book Louis C.K.? I'm like, because he sells a lot of tickets, man. He didn't
God,
get charged.
did you read that?
He didn't get charged with anything. So what he did was gross. But if there's no charges, comedy clubs are like, here it is. He's a good comic. This guy's a good football player, and that's exactly the same thing.
It's not exactly the same because
How?
it's not. Louis wasn't forcing people to touch him.
He didn't assault
I
women.
guess.
That's different than.
I think here's what I mean by exactly the same thing. In the eyes of those organizations, they were not.
They're
neither of them were
making
found
money, yeah.
guilty on anything.
Right, but
that is a valid response from an organization.
And-
we can't listen. What's the old line? You can indict a ham sandwich, but you can't convict it. You can indict
Mary could.
anything.
Mary could convict it.
Mary could convict
You
a
don't know
ham
what I do.
sandwich.
I had ham for breakfast.
You can I can indict a ham sandwich. It doesn't mean you can get a conviction on it.
Right. Well,
and a lot of times, prosecutors will not bring a case if they're not assured a conviction. And so cases like this, where it is very much he said, she said. Listen, this is a town confined still to the Browns. This is a town that reveres Jim Brown. Right? Jim Brown, classic. That was a guy who had all manner of allegations against him. It was just so long ago that people go, he's an old man, he's a nice guy. That guy was accused of a lot of bad stuff.
Right.
But, I mean, he's been retired longer than a lot of Browns fans have even been alive. So, I don't know.
Didn't you go see Louis?
I did. I saw him, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, but you paid to see him.
I
He
did.
still got your money.
Right. But am
Same
I not allowed
energy.
to change? It's not the same energy.
Same energy.
I went there. I saw it. I didn't like that I did that, and I don't support him anymore. Mm-hmm. So like that's one of those things where like, oh, I think I can get over this, but I couldn't. Mm-hmm. And so I did one time go see him since he's been canceled, and because I was a huge fan of his.
Yeah, so was I.
And so now when I like after having that experience and people cheering for certain things in there, and I was just like, I don't like this.
Did you
So I
read
just moved on.
the Louis C.K. Bad Vegan story? Is anybody watching Bad Vegan?
My boyfriend and I are watching it. We just finished it last night.
So we haven't watched it, but I remember this story, this documentary on Netflix. I think Rover was talking about it, going into a lot of detail on it. It's called Bad Vegan, and it's this woman named Sarma Mangalis who opened like this raw food restaurant in New York and quickly became like the talk of the town. And she was like this trailblazer. She was hot and she was blonde, and she, all these like famous people would go to this restaurant. That helps because even Alec Baldwin was like, I just like to go there and look at her. But she ends up getting hooked up with this dude who's a con artist. Right? Am I paraphrasing this kind of? I
don't know that he's necessarily a con artist. He's a gambling addict.
But he really gets in her head,
Yes.
and she's given basically whatever empire she was trying to build was completely destroyed. Like
They got married super quick, so then he was like entitled to. He could access the funds of her restaurant
Right.
and things like that because they were married.
You,
so
you
legally,
can't believe the way that some of these like hot, seemingly intelligent people just get sucked into it. Anyway. The news story is that, like, Louis C.K. gave her the clap or something back in the day, which is just really gross. They have, like, the article I was reading had, like, passages from an email exchange. Is this in the documentary? The Louis C.K. email thing?
I only watched I think it's 4 or 5 episodes. I only watched the last 2. My boyfriend watched the first 3, and he put it on the other night, and I watched the last 2. So I kind of watched how it ended.
Again, I don't even know why this woman, who, again, I think, and listen, looks aren't everything, but you would think that somebody who looks like her wouldn't be like, I'm going to let Louis C.K. get on top of me and
Well,
do
he's
some...
also probably very funny and charming.
But gross. Like,
Well, yeah, I mean-
Hey.
how funny does someone have to be?
Pretty funny.
Louis C.K.
Yeah.
selling out theaters and global
Well, I guess
tours.
well, this is 10 years ago. So
Right.
she dated Louis C.K. in like 2012.
Top of his game.
And she was really upset because he had given her an STD and she was emailing him. But the responses from him were like really gross and really kind of, there's a little bit of Monday morning quarterbacking now that everybody knows so much about Louis C.K. But he's like, hey, I understand you're upset. I never swore that I was clean. If you gave it to me, it's okay. So immediately, kind of like, hey, maybe you gave it to me. Mm-hmm. We all share this current human bloodstream. I should have worn a condom and you should have made me wear one, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, gross. It's just gross. This is a woman who didn't make Louis C.K. wear a condom.
She doesn't have great judgment. Clearly.
Yeah. There's no good tests for guys, and even condoms don't stop stuff, he said. I don't know. It's a mess. I hope you're okay. Ugh. God.
Yeah, dude, that's gross.
Yeah. So, and then they're like 2 months after that email is when they did that episode where, remember when Maria Bamford was the comic that he has sex with and he gives her crabs? And
Yeah.
she screams at Maria Bamford, by the way, very outspoken about being very upset at having worked with Louis C.K. Because she's like, I didn't know all this stuff at the time, and blah blah blah. But I got to watch this Bad Vegan because I hear people talking about it.
Pretty good, man.
Is it?
I'm
really because I've watched 2 or 3 of them now, and I'm getting burned out on the woman gets
conned
by guy. That's like the new true crime now. Is like these poor women who I say poor women because who knows what your
just
brain
want love, man.
I guess, but Jesus Christ, I don't know what your brain makes you do. It's not like these guys are supermodels.
No, they're
it's
not.
It's like these
This guy's not
doughy,
even-
bearded, dopey guys who
But there's so many things that can happen in a relationship that will cause insecurities and codependency that, I mean, I know I feel like I'm throwing out every trigger word there is, but like if your guy is manipulating you mentally and gaslighting you and making you feel guilty and unworthy and then showing you love as like a reward, you can grow to crave that reward.
Right, but who are the people who are resistant to that? Because there are plenty of them. And you would think that being a successful New York restaurateur...
But that doesn't make you secure in who you are as a woman and a partner.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there are plenty of people who are that secure and would look at a guy like this and go, get the hell out of here.
But that's
this
not the
woman
guy-
did not do that.
But he doesn't target women like that. A lot of these guys know the type of women to go after because they see the vulnerability there.
And women like her are more vulnerable. I have everything else in line. I have an amazing restaurant. I'm healthy as hell. I'm good looking. All I need left, the last thing, is a relationship or love. And so they're more willing and eager to ignore red flags, I think.
If they have a certain trait that the guy, you guys have talked about it, like the poor guys that that are good at sex. Mm-hmm. When you're at that low point, you go, well, I'll pay for his Uber to get over here. You'll do all these things and make accommodations because they're giving you that one thing that you need.
Right.
Yeah.
But also the other log line I saw from this documentary is like, this guy told her he needed money because he was going to make her dog live forever.
There is some crazy
And
stuff
then
like that.
they went on the run and they get caught in Tennessee ordering a pizza or something. Like, Jesus Christ, this woman was like building an empire in New York City.
I don't need my dog to live forever, but I just need us to live the same amount of time. So,
Don't let her die first.
Yeah. Okay, if we could die.
I'm sorry, too.
Wow.
I've got to take a break.
That was a very judgmental, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it really was.
My sorry.
Let me take a break. I'll have what for you on the way back. Oh, I like the band Dorothy? There's a band called Dorothy, and they're going to play House of Blues on April 23rd. So if you want to check them out,